All right. We're two tadpoles in a small hole.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they're doing to those
we're alive
tadpoles.
and well,
This
even
fall.
without Porch. Oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna talk over each other so much more now.
I know.
This is gonna be
It's gonna be
rough.
something. It's gonna be something to get used to, and for the viewers to get used to.
Yeah,
Not
for
seeing us on the beautiful porch.
yeah, they've got so much to adjust to right now. We're without
I know.
Porch. We're talking over each other. Our chemistry's gone.
I know. It's gonna be like culture shock.
Yeah, yeah. They're probably gonna
But
freak out. They're probably gonna be all sad and shit.
but alas, we have two albums for
Yeah,
this
we've
week.
we've got two
Kept it
albums
going.
this week. It's kind of what our deal. It's kind of what we do here.
Yeah. Funny thing about what we do here is that we usually pick two albums every week. One is a new release, and one is a random genre album. Um, and then we talk about them. We talk about how we feel about them, uh, what sounded cool, what sounded bad. Uh, I can't tell if you're frozen or if you're just doing that. Uh, and yeah, we go from there.
Yeah, we kind of just do our thing, man. We kind of just live la vida loca. We kind of just let it
We
ride.
muck about.
We muck about. We wriggle on down into the nasty little sediment at the bottom of the river, and we just make our home there. And we just suck all
Yeah,
the nutrients up.
that's right.
But yeah, this week we have two very good albums for you. I think. Well, I have. I don't think we haven't talked about the albums, so actually we're going
Yeah,
in
I
pretty cold
actually
turkey
hated
here.
everything about all of them.
They all sucked. I don't like the albums.
I don't like albums.
Ah.
You see
But
this? You see this synthesizer? This is
oh shit!
bad.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I actually
I hate
hate
you.
this thing. What this thing makes, hate it.
This guitar
Terrible.
here?
Bad. What this does, I don't like it. I don't like it
Yeah,
one bit. I don't want to do that shit.
yeah.
You
I
pluck the
just
damn strings to make them make noise. Fucking hate it. Fucking boring. Come on. this.
this
this.
music.
This. The,
Wait, can I do it? Can I count us
this. This. But, oh shit. It's not
in?
gonna look.
It's so bright.
It's.
Ah!
Wait if I. Wait. How do I fix like a little of that? Yeah. My travel Pantene. The music it
I
makes.
thought that was like
Hey.
I thought that was like a can. Like it was just
No,
like a silhouette.
I started looking around for things to grab, and for some reason on my desk, I just have travel Pantene. So, oh, it smells really good. That's exciting.
All right, I'm gonna count us in, and
Yeah,
then we're gonna get into the first album.
yeah. Well, who-
Uh, it's Rugh by
it's Rugh.
Rugh.
It's Rugh. It's Rugh. The band Rugh. We love Rugh. We've done Rugh on the
You should,
podcast before.
you should show him your shirt.
Oh yeah. This is just to throw our biases out there. This is not going to be an unbiased review. I love the band Rugh. I've been a Rugh fan for a while now. Rugh was my first girlfriend, as the shirt says, and we love Rugh here. I think it was like our second or third episode where I showed you favorite way to be used off their
Yeah,
2022 EP, and I don't know, like this is their first album. It's called Rugh. It's not self-titled technically because the band
yeah,
is spelled
'cause
Rugh and the album is Rug. But this is their 2025 release. Rugh is Eliza Goldstein, Macy Lamers, and Sawyer Lamers, and Lily Ruckstuhl on production. They're a three-piece. They have a little bit of bass on the record, but it's mainly just two guitars and drums. And it's their debut album. And Aiden, what were your kind of overall vibe thoughts going into this thing? What do you think about it? See, because this, there we go.
no, I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
Um,
this is a really good record.
no, I really liked it. I mean, I liked the one track you showed me from Rugh,
Mm.
and I kind of just had this. I listened to it on my walks to and from work, and it was just very pleasant to listen
Mm.
to. There's a lot like going on, and you can like it's one of those perfect albums that you can either like really listen to if you're really feeling it and hear all these little details in it, and everything that like makes them so good, or you can just be like, if you're like, and they're like a oh, I thought of a good comparison. Oh, they're like Boy Genius if Boy Genius was cool. Um,
That's so
but
true, though. I think
yeah,
like not to shit on Boy Genius too much,
no,
but
Boy
it is
Genius is
like
great, but that's
yeah,
cooler.
this is like Boy Genius is good for what they are, but I mean what Rugh is doing. Yeah, what Rugh is doing is insane. Their guitar work on this record especially is incredible. Like
Yeah.
it's Macy Lamers and Eliza Goldstein who are the two guitarists, and the way their guitar lines just interweave with each other and the complexity.
Hmm.
It reminds me a lot of like Big Thief or something, where the musicians just feel very, very confident and in control at all times,
Yeah.
even when they're doing some very complex things.
Yeah, and it's like a bit noisier
Oh yeah,
too, which
yeah,
is always fun.
yeah. They have a really consistent, good sound. I think their first EP they clarified themselves as anxiety pop. Don't really know what that means, but you can
Hmm.
kind of they've got a very poppy sound while having more complex, kind of jagged guitar tones. It's very
Yeah.
dissonant and a lot of compression on there sometimes. It
Hmm.
reminds me a lot. There, you can clearly hear some Midwest emo influences in their styles
Of
and
course.
sound, and like, but the way they kind of take that Midwest emo tone and guitar feel and kind of turn it into a
Mhm.
more groovy pop sound is really,
Yeah,
really
they've got
great.
some like garage rock isms
Yeah,
in there
yeah,
too. I like
yeah.
it. They kind of remind me of Everyone Asked About You,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good
but not as
comparison.
like not as Midwest emo-y, like a little bit more poppy
Yeah.
and a little bit. I mean, no, they can get both similar in like I guess guitar, but I feel like Rugg can be a little bit heavier at times
Yeah.
in like a in not like a metal heavy way, but like a like that like if you listen to Pharmacist by Always is the only way I could think of
Yeah.
it.
No, there's. I think Always is another good like comparison point too because they make that kind of mix of garage rock lo-fi sound that's still really poppy, and when they
Yeah,
get heavy, it's usually through like compression. So like you have a
yeah,
track like For Steven, the third track on the Rugh album, that just
which
kind of
is my favorite track.
which is Aiden's favorite track, which was also I think that was the first single they released for this, and it
Oh, really?
ends like I think so yeah I think the two singles they released were For Steven and Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, and they might have released another. I don't think they released another single, but For Steven ends in about 30 seconds of like just kind of compressed like guitar lick noise, and it's still you can barely make out the individual lines going on, and everything is compressed from the drums to the guitars, and it just kind of makes
Hmm.
this really beautiful dissonant thing that almost like reminds me of some of the early Microphones records, or like
Yeah,
something like Neutral Milk Hotel.
yeah. I don't have much else to say about Rugg,
Yeah,
other than the people should go listen to it because it's
absolutely.
really
Rug.
great.
This is a fantastic project. I think it's a really cool step forward for them. I think their 2022 EP, which was called I wrote it down,
This is
"People
the
Are Doing
purple
So
and
Well, It's a Great Time to Be Alive," is really excellent. Favorite Way to Be Used is one of my favorite songs. But I think this record, it's really cool to see them do that over a 38-minute runtime. And I think
yeah.
all these songs are so great. I think you got the opening track, Great Time, which is just a really good, really, really good opener. And you got Topograph, which is another one. And every single song just has such great guitar licks. Just has, I think the drumming is really great on this record too. I think Steve Lamers is really in his, or Sawyer Lamers, sorry, is just really grooving throughout this whole thing. And I think the main thing that they're best at right now is they're just really patient for a new band. Like they
Yeah.
really like wait to let their tracks explode, and they really let the grooves develop, which gives the album a lot of replay value. It's not just
Mhm.
about hitting the hooks instantly. It's about really letting these tracks develop. And I think it goes to what Aiden was saying earlier, where you can kind of just let this thing ride in the background and have a great time, or you can just kind of sit with it and really dig deep into the way the guitars are interweaving with one another, and it's just as good of an experience. So yeah, I think that, I mean, this is a standout record for me. I was one of my most anticipated of the year, and it lived up to the potential in every way for me.
Yeah. Another track I want to point out that's really great is Bridge parentheses Water
Oh
Under.
yeah, Bridge
That
Parentheses
track is
Underwater.
really cool.
It's a great track.
And it's real different on the album, and that was like
Yeah.
my other. I was debating between For Steven and that one being my favorite, and I think I'm still between them. I will say after this album, I went and listened to some of their 2022 album,
Mm.
and I found Power to Self Destruct, which is a very
Great
good
track.
song as
Yeah.
well.
Transference off that one is also fantastic. They just haven't really made a bad song.
Yeah.
They're great, man. I love Rug. I love that Rug. My favorite track of this one was Precious Metals, the fifth track. It was like a little 2 minute track in between that just really caught my attention the last time I listened to it through, because I was really split between Great Time, Topograph, and For Steven. And then I'm just gonna shout out the fourth track as well, because it has probably my favorite line in the record, which is where they just start screaming, "There's blood inside my body" at the end of it. And which I think we should talk a little bit about the vocals real quick, because I think the vocals are
Oh yeah,
fantastic on this record.
vocals are amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's like my
Macy and
favorite type of vocals. Man.
yeah, really like not like traditionally fantastic singing, but really emotional and guttural, like kind of high up, like I don't know, is that a soprano, or is that even the right language to use for that? But
Like alto range.
alto
I
range,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just really beautiful, and it's usually like a lot. I think it's Eliza and Macy both doing like interweaving vocals. I think some of the songs Macy takes lead, other Eliza takes lead, and they're both just fantastic singers. And oftentimes they'll do that thing that we both like have talked about a lot, loving the gang vocals in the back, where whoever's
Mhm.
like on backup vocals will be kind of screaming in the background in a real reverby setting, and it's
Yeah.
so good. It's just such a great sound.
Yeah, I don't know. The album's just real tight. Like
Yeah.
there's a like it sounds like they were just like locked in a room, like in the
Mm.
studio. Or it doesn't even sound like a studio recording in like in a good way, where it
Yeah, it
sounds
has a
like
bedroom. It has a bedroom pop feel to it.
it sounds like they had like they were in like a shed and they just
Yeah,
mic'd it really well, and then
yeah,
they were just jamming. They were just really in the pocket for everything.
yeah. I mean, these are three musicians that are really in tune with each other and really like have got that chemistry. And I mean, shout out to Lily Ruxtall on production for really capturing that feel, because this feels, you can feel the chemistry between the bandmates throughout the whole
Oh
record.
yeah,
It's great. Would you rate it there, bud?
I give it a 4 out of 5. 'Cause I really
4 out of
liked it.
5. And closing thoughts. Anything else to add?
It exceeded my expectations, and I hadn't listened. Like I'd only really have the one song that I listened to by Rugh, and this album made me go out and listen to more of their music, not just on this album. So for that reason, it's good, and you should do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a thumbs up. Oh, thumbs up in the. Whoa, wait. Whoa! This is a thumbs up trending best for me. I love this record. I love this band. I can't wait to keep hearing what they're gonna keep putting out there. I'm really upset I didn't get to see them live. I accidentally scheduled a shift the day they were coming to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I missed out on them, and hopefully they'll come to Tennessee sometime soon again, or at least Atlanta. Hopefully we'll get to see them live, because they are fantastic. But yeah, this is thumbs up, trending best, highly recommend. This is a really easy record to get into. It's real easy on the ears. It's pleasant. It's got some really cool stuff going on, and it's just great. It's also only 38 minutes, so absolutely give this
Yeah,
one a listen.
if you like Boy Genius and want to be cool, listen to Rugh.
Yeah. If you want to be gay and indie, but even cooler,
Boom.
listen to Rugh. Yeah. If you want to be gay, listen to Rugh.
All right, and on to our next album. Uh,
Yeah, on our next album, and this was your pick, Aiden. So why don't you lead us off there?
yeah, so we got the album Rage Configuration by the artist Sussler, I think. Sus one
Suswunner. It's spelled
Susier.
S-U-S-1-E-R,
Yeah,
sorry. So we have no
yeah.
idea how to pronounce it. I looked it up and couldn't really find a lot. I didn't really do
But
that much research, but
the genre was Neo-Grime, which is grime is like a sub electronic subgenre, mostly based in the UK, like hip
mm,
hop subgenre. Um, yeah, it's like and this is just I don't know. I don't really there weren't many for this genre. I don't know if it, I I suspect that this genre is one that someone just came up with on Rate Your Music and decided to
yeah,
start calling things it because it doesn't feel like a real thing, but this album's really cool, so I'm happy I
yeah.
found it.
I looked up on. I tried to find like some genre characteristics for Neo-Grime, and I looked up on Wikipedia. It's just like not really a thing. It's just some guy made up on regular music. But grime
Yeah.
itself, I think, like Sussler, I think is what we're just gonna decide to call him. Sorry if we get your name
Yeah.
wrong, bud. But Sussler, I did find an interview with him where he talked about it. He defines his music as grime, and he had a fun quote where he said, "As long as it's around 140 BPM with some crazy drums and some square waves, it can be considered grime." So I think that's a good genre definer.
Yeah. And I think that that sums up his album pretty well.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
lot of it's 140 BPM with some crazy drums and some square waves, and it's
and
awesome.
and
It's
brother,
great.
that's all you need.
Yeah. Um, this is
And then you
I
throw
mean,
in
it
some
was just
producer, you throw in some like car noises, and then somebody in the background yelling like "No fucks given," and then you got
yeah.
yourself a Sussler record.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was a fun listen. There's only weirdly enough, there's only one track with like actual vocals on it.
Yeah, was that the third
Um,
track or was that the which track was that?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's called Burn. I think that one was Burning Inside.
yeah, that was Burning Inside.
Um, and that one was really fun. That was my favorite track because I
Mhm.
really like his vocals and I think he should do more of it.
Yeah, I think he had a
And
good vocal sound.
it kind of sounded like Blade, you know,
Mm.
like European man with autotune equals Blade. But
He's Australian, Sussler.
oh really?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. I was not
Same thing.
expecting that. Yeah,
Um,
nothing else beyond that. That's all I had to add. He's just from Australia.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
Cool
it
place.
feels very UK,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Well, because it's got a lot.
But
Well, like it's clearly a grime album, and it's got a lot of
mhm,
like It's got a lot of the stuff you'd expect from a grime album. It's got the break beats. It's got the kind of like
mhm,
John Carpenter-y synths over it,
yeah,
and then it's got like he definitely has some like hyper pop blade influence as well.
yeah.
And
There's
also
like
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 oh you
there's
go.
some like jerk drums
Mm-hmm.
throughout it, like which is like I guess where you get the neo grime from, which is like kind of like the genre, like a lot of the drum beats that are kind of in a lot of underground hip hop right now,
Yeah, yeah.
um, in there, which is fun.
Yeah, but I don't quite see the Neo-Grime. I don't see this album was really fun, but it's not really pushing anything crazy or new to me.
Yeah,
And that might be
no, it
my ignorance with the grime genre, because this is not really my wheelhouse. But this is not entirely. So, for example, like one of the albums we did last year was like Igloo Ghost. That album felt
mhm,
very grounded within like a tradition and also very, very boundary pushing in a lot of ways.
mhm.
And this one just kind of seems like a good grime album to me. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's how you
this
felt
good.
about it.
That's how I felt about it. I felt
Mm.
like it kind of feels like he's just like DJing in front of
Mm.
you
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
putting things together, and it's
Mm.
cool. Like
Yeah.
it's like I think he's just really good at what he does,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and it kind of shows on this record.
Mm. It definitely feels like he has more room to push boundaries in his next whatever he
Yeah,
ends up doing next.
yeah.
Um,
There was something that felt like classic to it,
yeah.
like a almost like a classic trap sound, and not trap in terms of like Atlanta rap, but like trap in terms of like the EDM genre.
Okay.
Like there's
Yeah.
some like I felt like there was some of that in there. Like clearly music made to be like played live or like
Yeah.
in a
Yeah. No, you can definitely imagine a very, very fun Sussler show, like while listening to
yeah.
this record. He also talked in his interview about being really inspired by like video games and about just like as an Australian kid growing up, there's not a lot of like there's the music scene, at least where he grew up, was not very thriving, and so a lot of where he got his music influence from was just by being online and playing video games, and you kind of hear that feel in this record, that this kind of, you can almost imagine playing a video game and this being the soundtrack to it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with all the, like, definitely those, he was definitely playing racing games, and
Oh
not
yeah,
just because
yeah.
there's a bunch of car noises, but just like the feel of the songs kind of have that. But yeah,
Yeah, what was your favorite track, and why? What did it mean to you?
um, I like Burning Inside because I like the vocals on it. It
Hmm.
was, it had everything that the other tracks were doing, plus like vocals.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought like it felt like a. I will say this whole thing felt like it felt very cohesive.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
agree.
but this one was like kind of just the standout for being a little bit different than all the other ones.
Hmm. Heck yeah. My favorite track was the first track, Rage Configuration. I really like the synth tones on it. I will say, I think this might be my ignorance showing again, but I feel like a lot of these tracks had really confusing drops. Like, I feel like they dropped in weird places sometimes and then would come back in odd spots. And I feel like
Yeah.
the first three tracks were really great, and it was really kind of figured out. And then the middle two or three tracks were kind of just washed over me and didn't really do anything for me. And then it closed really strong. Oh, he's muted. Oh, oh, he's being entered. He's being, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. That's an Aiden dad reveal. That's an Aiden dad reveal live on the podcast, folks. Live on the podcast. He's in that corner right there, folks. That is an Aiden dad reveal live on the air. That is as we live and breathe, folks. That is AJ. I probably shouldn't just. He lives at 123, and his social security number is. that is right there. Say hello to the folks. Oh shit.
No, I hope that picked up on the mic.
That was exactly no, none of that picked up at all. That was completely
You're
silent,
just
aside
going like
from my commentary.
outside the mic.
Yeah. Now Aiden's dad has been revealed.
Yeah, dad reveal.
Dad reveal.
Here's-
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. My video is no longer
Alright.
played. Yeah, Revengeseekerz,
Yeah.
and then we'll spin the random. I say if we get a metal genre, we just get your dad on. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't want to make him listen to like some gothic country bullshit or something.
yeah, it would be funny though. But
It would be
We'll
fun.
do
That's
metal.
true. That's true. Okay, we'll
Alright.
save the production meeting for like next time. Yeah.
Yeah, they
we'll
get
do
there's a little sneak peek into what we do here.
little peek. That wasn't what the fuck was that? Little peek behind the curtains.
Also,
Um,
my toes right now are in my cord bag,
Show him.
and it feels really
Pan
good.
down.
No,
Pan down. Pan down.
well, you hit
Yes.
my leg.
Yes.
There's a
Wait,
lot of
you said-
leg going on.
a lot of hair and leg going on. See, that's why I'm wearing pants. I'm not a disgusting freak.
Mhm.
Mm.
See,
So
it's
your
like
toes are just
7
like nestled in your cord bag.
Yeah, it feels great.
That sounds like a pleasant texture.
Like, imagine everyone at home. Imagine putting your feet in like spaghetti,
Ooh.
but it's not wet, and you've got little socks on. You got thin little socks on, so you can feel all the intricacies of the spaghetti.
Why aren't you just raw dogging it? You got to be barefoot in there if you want to feel the full cord effect.
And my feet get cold.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah.
There is one like power block in here that's kind of ruining the vibe.
Yeah, it's fucking up your whole frame.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of just sitting. I'm not doing anything nearly as interesting as like digging my toes around in my cords. Because I'm not a weird little freak. But I'm just a normal guy. I'm just chill. Chill like that.
There we
So,
go.
what'd you rate the
Oh, what
Soooooo record?
Yeah.
What'd you
I
rate
gave
that?
it a 3.
Hmm.
I thought it was a good listen, and if you like that kind of stuff, it's like a better, like, I don't know. I think you're cool if you listen to it.
Yeah, yeah. I think this one's a solid thumbs up for me. I think this is like it's a good record. It's got a lot of things going for it. It's got some really cool ideas, but it is a good solid record that if you're into this genre, I'd recommend to you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Do you want to do word of the day? We haven't really decided on a name for this segment yet, but I think word of the day is pretty fun. We'll go with a nice like word of the day. Oh, oh, he's gone. Oh, jeez.
I was gonna go with grit because there's a
Hmm.
grittiness to both the albums.
Hmm.
Um, in like a DIY way, kind of.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. That's my
Hmm.
through line. I
Hmm.
it was this one was difficult.
Yeah. This one was hard to find a through line. I fuck with that one though. I fuck with a nice sonic through line. I kind of went for a more thematic through line, which was my through line was run it till they stop it. I think both these
Mm,
albums display a really good sense of we know what our sound is, and we're gonna just keep doing that. And I think sometimes that is kind of negative. That can be looked down on in music. Like people want you to experiment and get weird with it, which both these bands show that you can absolutely get weird with it within your own sound. If you know you have a good groove and a good sound, just go with it. Just keep making that good shit.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's jack track it up. Let's get through this one.
All right. You want me to share mine?
Yeah, share yours. I think that'll be. And I'll just mute here.
This is Loungin by Guru and Donald Byrd.
Mm,
Uh, I think I found this one on the way back from moving out with my dad. We were just in the car. I think Spotify just recommended this one.
mm,
I forget what we were listening to at the time, but it was something along the lines of like this kind of hip hop.
mm.
And this, I don't know. I want to dive more into this Guru sound. It says he's a rapper and composer. His real name's Keith Elam. Um, and yeah, he does like kind of. This is from his record Jazzmatazz. I think volume. What volume is it? Volume one. So
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Let's give it a
this
listen.
is Guru and Donald Byrd
Heck yeah.
lounging. Boom.
Boom. Was
We're gonna be double.
Loungin by
Yeah,
Guru. I was looking him up because I was trying to figure out what era that was from, like as it was going.
90s.
That was from it was from like 1993. Apparently Guru
Yeah,
like just like teamed up with a whole bunch of live jazz musicians and like recorded some hip
yeah.
hop. It's sick.
You
That,
like
that
wrote
track
it
is
all.
sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's like taking like the jazz rap thing and like literally half the song is him rapping and then the other half is just jazz with some like like recordings.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
But
I love this
it's
track.
really like at this one is like at its core a jazz track and like
Mm.
like usually you get like it's a rap song that's got jazz sampled in the back. This is just straight up a jazz arrangement with a guy rapping over
Yeah,
it. It's super interesting. Awesome.
and it's really good because it's got a real kind of consistent bass line under it too. That sounds like it was added in
Hmm.
post instead of like
Yeah.
it's real thumpy and just kind of the same groove all the way through. It's it's good. And I love it. I love his flows on this thing too. He kind of reminds me a
Mhm.
lot of like Jizza or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
I
got a
was like it
you
he
got
said he said Brooklyn's. I think he's from New York, but
yeah.
like it reminds me of some like Tribe too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
little Q-tip.
Yeah. Good track. Cool track. That was sick.
All right. And what was your track?
My track was
What?
called "Drag Crashed" by Mandy, Indiana. I found this track today because I was like just listening to some new music. I was listening to New Model Actress, and they were one of the bands that were similar to that. And apparently, Mandy, Indiana, this is their debut album back in 2023, and they're an electronic group from Britain and France. And this album is absolutely sick. I listened to it today. Apparently, they recorded the whole thing in a cave. They had like a crypt.
Okay.
They went to a crypt and they went to a cave and they just recorded it between that. But this is the second track off that album, and it's pretty sick. I really like these guys.
All right. All right. Stop sharing.
That was Dragon
That was-
Crash by Mandy, Indiana.
Yeah, that was cool. It was like industrial techno, which I like.
Yeah, they're I found them today and I was just like, damn, this is so up my alley. This is sick.
Yeah.
Because like the
It's
background
like-
is so noisy.
It's got like the drums are like very like old school techno.
Yeah.
Like they sound like it sounds like the first EDM music that was ever made.
Yeah.
A lot of it had like that kind of drum beat and like thing to it. Like the stuff they would play in like the old clubs in Detroit. And then it was just like some dude just like using like a welder in the back. It was awesome.
Just loud clangs and howls in the background. And
Yeah.
then some lady just kind of like speaking in French over it.
hmm
So if you're
Yeah.
into that, check out Mandy, Indiana.
Yeah, it's cool. Or if you just want to like listen to something cool.
Yeah, I mean this is sick nasty
Like
music.
this is like sounds. This sounds for dudes.
music for dudes. It's about time we had some
Yeah.
music for dudes and guys.
And Mandy, Indiana is making it.
Mandy, Indiana's making music for guys.
That's my analysis.
Yeah. So if you're a guy or a dude, check out Mandy,
Yeah.
Indiana. It'll be for
If
you.
if you like metalworking or woodworking, and like
You like alchemy.
like I don't know, soaps that smell like charcoal and bourbon, this is for you.
You like Dr. Squatch's
You also have
Star
to be
Wars
in-
soap.
You also have to be into club music. That's like a slight caveat.
Yeah, you
Uh,
have to be a dude that's also into club music. You have to wear flannels. You have to like use expensive soap that's like naturally from it. It's called like pine tree scent or something like that. You have to have a Manscaped razor. And you have to be into techno music.
Yeah. You like
You have to watch
It's
the
a- it-
NFL.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to be into like cologne that smells like leather musk.
And you have to wear wife beaters and look a little bit too aggressive in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta wear too tight jeans with a belt and then have a wife beater on. And then
Mhm.
everybody has to kind of look at you and kind of get the ick.
Yeah.
I say like that
If
guy's a
you're
little
listen-
bit too well groomed. That guy's
Yeah.
hair is a little bit too slick and he's making me uncomfortable.
He definitely uses beard oil.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you have like if you're into club music and you have a really strong opinion on like Milwaukee versus DeWalt tools, this song is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
No. Trying to think if there's anything going on.
Nothing.
The Pope's a Bears fan, so
That's pretty cool.
that's why I'm
yeah.
not a Catholic.
Yeah. That's actually why you're a Lutheran. That's why you split.
Yeah.
That was the 97 theses. Is that the Bears
But he's a
still
White
suck.
Sox fan. He's not a Cubs fan, so
That's
that
pretty
makes
big.
me trust that he does actually believe in God.
I don't know. If I was a White Sox fan, I would have stopped believing in God a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they need someone like him.
Like God or like him?
Both.
Both. Yeah. Dude,
So,
God's
yeah.
OBP is crazy. God gets on base. Say what you want about
Yeah.
him. That man his plate discipline is next level.
God might hate baseball.
God, I think
If
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 God was
his
smart.
if his speaker is a White Sox fan, he might just
Yeah,
hate baseball.
but if
It's
like the
okay.
direct line from God is a White Sox fan, does that like kind of imply that the only baseball that God knows, well, I guess God knows everything.
Yeah.
I guess technically. Where are we at with God? What's the podcast stance on God?
Um, I don't know. Shout out God on like I think it's a situational for me.
Situational God. Yeah,
Yeah.
God's more of like a 6 man off the bench for me. God's like a Lou Williams type, in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's not the kind of guy you want starting every night, but when you need a bucket, you want to go to God off the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, God is Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.